Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel of Thursdays every day at 7 p.m. As you can see, we've had a theme of this month, which has been storms and our seasons of storms. And today's episode will be on why are we going through this storm, So like I said before, God doesn't promise that he won't, or that you won't go through any storms, but he does promise that he will be with you through the storms, right? Sometimes it just feels like you're in the eye of the storm. I don't know if you guys have lived in Florida before, but or anywhere on that side of the country where there's a lot of hurricanes and thunder, tropical storms or things like that. Well, in a hurricane, the eye of the storm or the eye of the hurricane is pretty much the most destructive part of the hurricane. And sometimes you just feel like you're right at the eye of the storm, where it's the worst part, right? I don't know where you are in that, I guess in that category. I don't know where you are in that stage of your life. But when we are experiencing that, sometimes it feels like, why are we here? Like, haven't we already went through, like, when is this storm going to end, right? It's our questions. Like, do we actually feel God? Is he actually here with us? And if he is, the question that comes up mostly for everyone that is experiencing, or maybe is in the eye of the storm, is if there is a God and he's a loving God, why is he allowing this to happen to me? Why does he want me to be in this eye of the storm? Is my life always going to be like this? Is it always going to be this bad? Why does he want me to be feeling this way? So that's a lot of the questions that come up when we're experiencing these storms, these seasons of storms in our lives. I obviously don't have all the answers. I don't have any answers. I can just tell you from my own experience and be truthful about that. These are normal questions that I have myself, right? And the things that I have learned is that you may not feel him, you may not understand him, you may not know the purpose, you may not know why he chose you, but he chose you, right? Your eyes are open now. Like, you're not blinded anymore. Your heart is not hardened anymore. And so a lot of times we stop and we wonder, like, if my eyes are not blind anymore, my heart is not hardened anymore, aren't I going towards a better path? Isn't this the path that God wanted me to be in? And I'm here now, but thing after thing is going wrong, or my storm is just not passing. Why am I still in this? You feel like yours just might be the closest that you've ever been with God, but you're still wondering, why am I still going through this? So what I have learned is, one, I always have, I pray, even in anger, even in sadness, even in happiness, whatever. But God also wants you to have a mentor, someone who is a person of God, who is more mature in their faith, and someone that you can go to when you have these questions, when you have these struggles with your own faith. So right now, what I've learned with my mentor, my friend, is that our faith is like a muscle, and we don't always once we start working out, if you guys work out, your muscles are not gonna go from weak to strong the next day, and you're not able to really get from this point to this point unless you practice your workouts in between, right? You start increasing, like if you do strength training, you start increasing the weight little by little. Maybe when you first started, you were only able to lift 5 pounds in each hand, and maybe once your muscles have grown, have gone through the process of growing, which we can talk a little bit about that, then you're able to maybe lift 95 pounds. I say that because my husband does 95 pounds. And so we're going back to the muscles, right? How does a muscle continue to get bigger, continue to get stronger? Honestly, it has to tear itself. You have to push it to a level where it's tearing, that then the muscle itself starts to rebuild itself. And when it rebuilds a little bit stronger, a little bit fuller, and then you continue this process on, right? So what have I learned is that, yes, in these moments, a lot of emotions come in. Anger, sadness, defeat. You feel like God has forsaken you, left you there. Sometimes I feel like maybe even like a joke, like, really, what is going on? Like, how is this even my life? This is ridiculous. Like, things like this are feelings that might be going through you. And so what my mentor did tell me is that these feelings is what the enemy uses against you, right? The feelings, the thought process, all of that. But in the moment, they're real. It's strong. So why are we going through this? And it's to exercise, to build that muscle, to rupture it or tear it, so then it can rebuild itself. We're not gonna grow, I guess, when our lives are perfect, when we don't need to be humbled, but we will grow when we're going through these hardships, that we go to God, that we start practicing our faith muscle and start building it up and getting stronger in it. So that's one thing, right? So yes, definitely you should have a mentor that you can go to, that you trust, will give you, because it really does matter who you talk to, who you speak your problems with, your current situations with, because everybody will have an opinion, and maybe the way that they would do it or things like that. But when you go to someone that you trust and that's in a more mature stage, it's kind of the same thing. I'm going to use the workout. You wouldn't go and get advice from someone who's not a personal trainer, or maybe who doesn't know anything on the subject of workout, right? Of exercising, of health. So you wouldn't go and ask someone for advice when they know nothing about the subject, or you want to ask someone who maybe is a little bit interested in working out and has done some homework. Maybe they go and work out every day or 5 days a week. They're more committed. They're more involved in the workouts, right? Or you can go to a personal trainer. Things like that is what I'm trying to say. So it matters who you go to. So that, and then really is knowing God's word. How much are you getting involved in it? I always, do carry this, the day-to-day devotional, or my pray.com app. Let me show that to you guys. Like, you see, it gives me my little reminders, like, what is it saying? So it gives you like your midday prayer, my morning prayer, and then my evening prayer. So I like to get myself involved in the word, because then I'll be able to really try to understand what God is trying to tell me through these things. At the moment, I feel angry, I feel sad, but in the end, I choose. Even if I'm feeling confused, Maybe I feel like I still don't know how to be with God instead of just doing His works for Him, like my mentor told me. But I know that when I said that I do surrender my life and want to do His will, I do know that I still want that. I still want to do His will, as difficult as it is, as easy as it would be for me to just rather go my own way, take things and take control of my own life. Control, because you think you have certain control, and then you shortly realize you don't. So once I think about those things, I really think like I'm still not willing to go my own way. I'm still not willing to give up with God. I may not understand. I may have a million questions, but I'm still choosing to follow His will. I'm still choosing to be in His path. I'm still choosing Him. Then that is a step towards working your faith muscles. Okay, so I wanted to leave you with that. I don't have a lot of psychoeducation today. I don't have a lot of I like to usually use both of my skills, like what I've learned and experienced, and psychology, psychoeducation. But sometimes you just need to speak from your own personal experience, and I think that this is one of those moments. So I believe this is our last week of this month, so this might be the last week that we speak about storms, and we'll go into our next theme for September. And I still am not going to reveal that theme just yet, so you'll know it next week. But yeah, so like and subscribe to our channel. I have to learn to start saying that word correctly, because I like to just zoom through it and I say subscribe but really it's subscribe. So like, subscribe, follow, and share. Please share. It's important, because if you did find something meaningful in this conversation, maybe somebody else that you know might find it meaningful as well. So pass it along. And even if you don't share the page, that's fine, but share the information. It's always good to share what you know, because if one person is able to use it and apply it, it will somehow spread to others, and that's what we're trying to do here. Help other people, help us, ourselves, right? And then help others. Okay, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.